That's good. How can I help you? Where are we
Okay.
at today?
Today I've been winning every game, MVP every game, but we need to review. We need to review. That's the problem.
hmm
'Cause I'm just perma stuck bronze one.
So I think
Can you
that's
drag my friend in, by the way? Sorry, if you don't
uh
mind.
give me 1 second because there's a lot that we should start with first. So
Oh yeah,
let's
okay,
let's
that's fine.
start by talking about like what your goals are. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So you're focusing on mid lane, right?
Uh-huh.
And do you have like a set champion pool?
Um, I mean, I've just been maining Katarina for like a while now.
Okay.
So basically just cat. And like I've been playing Cassante mid and he's so fun mid, I can't lie.
hmm
And
Okay.
I've just today
So
I just like bought Kiana. I've been practicing her, she looks pretty fun, so I might try her as well.
sure. So my first recommendation is having a narrow champion pool, which it sounds like you're already doing. The second thing is understanding that like um, it sounds like you know a lot about Katarina, right? So if we were to talk through Katarina, what
Yeah.
is like one her champion identity? How does she like carry games slash play games and adapting to different styles of games, right? So like I wanted to
Mhm.
start with some of that and then maybe look at the game specifically because there's so many micro interactions, right? When you
Okay,
get
yeah,
into the
yeah.
game, right? It's like, do you understand your champion to the point of like spending almost 1% of your mental load on
Yeah, yeah,
piloting your
that's what I need to be
champion?
doing.
And then like the other 50%, like what are you deciding at each moment? How are you interpreting the game? What are you identifying the win cons in each game? And then where how you kind of execute after that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like last time we VOD reviewed, I feel like I've improved quite a lot. Like
Okay.
I watched some guides, I watched like jungle tracking guides and like wave
Sure.
control guides. I feel like I understand to the mid lane a little bit more.
Okay.
And yeah, like we said about Cat, I've just I've been reading guides, I've been watching guides,
Uh-huh.
I've been doing a bunch of stuff on her. So
Sure.
like I know,
It's me.
no,
So,
sorry, yeah, we're doing a bunch of stuff.
okay, that's
Do you want
good.
me to stream my screen
So,
or you gonna
given
stream?
that, given that,
Oh yeah, sorry.
let's go into a game. If you remember one specifically, it sounds like you want to talk about this one here.
For this one?
It's whatever you think is most valuable because again,
Mm,
like I said, we want to start with that construct of are you understanding how to pilot your champion
okay,
and
let's
then
go.
thinking about it going into a game.
This
Yeah.
game was good because yeah, okay, let's do this game. Because I didn't like completely snowball 1v9, but like I still did quite well.
Not even in this game.
Let's see.
No, you're not.
Oh, oh, oh.
Okay.
Okay.
What stuff do you want me to turn on?
Yeah, so turn on the scoreboard and then turn off Fog of War, meaning only seeing what your team sees. So where it says all, let's toggle that to red. I think you guys are purple, red, right?
Do you want me to click it?
Yeah, so where on the left, bottom left, where it says all,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, select red.
Click that. Oh, select red team frames. No, what?
Uh, to the left, yeah, down, where it says all.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
there you go. Fog of War, right. So, because we don't want to bias the
Yeah, 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 yeah.
information, right? Okay. So go ahead, start. And I'm going to ask you some of the same questions that we talked about last time. And then
Okay.
observing throughout the game, like, at those pivotal points, like, what decisions are you making and why? Because what I want, like, so when you're learning mid lane, it starts from, like, understanding how the first 3 levels are going to play out, how the first 6 levels are going to play out, and then transitioning into the mid game where it's actually really, really repetitive. Like mid game is where I think a lot of players overthink what they need to do and they try to overcompensate or they try to, put themselves in scenarios that might have not been optimal, right? So I want to
Okay, yeah.
see before those moments happen, how are you as a player preparing for those moments, right? So right now,
hmm
okay. So level 1, right? Where do you think Lilia is going to start in this?
Probably We're in bronze, so obviously bot side
Okay.
every time.
Okay.
I'm like 90% sure she'll start bot, but like she could be top as well, so we need to keep that
Yeah.
in mind.
Lilia can definitely start bot. And I think she likely will because she likes to clear AoE camps. Her Q
Yeah. I used
is
to play
an AoE.
Lilia, so I understand her kit quite well.
Nice, right. So you'll also know that like you guys being Scion Katarina probably don't win a 2v2 against Lilia Fizz. Especially in the early levels. So knowing that, I want to see just like how you play out this early game.
I bought the skin today and it's too cold.
Looks like your Fizz is going to lose a lot of XP here, actually. So, yeah, he lost like half a level.
I started D-Shield because like Fizz can just like he does so much damage. But I was also thinking of starting like what's it called? Dark Seal. But
I think
D-Shield
both could have been
was better.
viable here. One thing I noticed is that you didn't pressure your level 2.
Yeah. I'm not very comfortable with cat level 2. I don't know. I just feel like I can't escape like when I go in. Because when you're level 3, you can like double dagger, can't you? And then you get your E back to like
Totally,
dash out.
but the thing that you have to consider is what can Fizz do at level 1.
Yeah, true,
right?
true.
So, okay, so let's pause for a moment. Two things that I noticed. One, well, let's talk about the first thing, right? Is that your wave doesn't bounce completely.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
So why did that happen, right? Like if we
I
go
didn't
back
push
and
it
watch,
fast enough.
right? So one, you didn't push it fast enough. The second thing is you haven't placed your ward yet, and your Scion has already crossed over as well. Unless
I
that's
put
your
my
ward
ward here.
there.
Yeah, that's my ward there.
Okay, so why did you ward that bush?
Because she started bot, so if she's gonna level 3 gank me, I can see her coming up, and I can run away.
Okay. Okay. So chances of that gank happening, right?
Yeah, pretty low against Lilia, but you never know.
And so right now, that ward isn't really doing you any favors. Because if you think about the next minute, your Scion's going to be topside and you're hugging topside, right? So the ward placement kind of determines how you're playing too, right? So for example, mid laners tend to hug the side that their junglers are either on or going to be on, right? So the fact that Fizz is kind of mirroring your movements, I think it's fair to kind of put that ward in that top pixel brush, right? If we go to that top pixel, yeah, there. Especially because your wave is now stuck, right?
Yeah.
So if Lilia were to come from bot, that's actually a best case scenario because you would be as far as possible. So you're not even that worried about the bot side gank right now. You're more worried about the top side gank because you have a much worse retreat path in that scenario. So the three things so far: one, making sure you abuse that level 2, getting comfortable with what that looks like. Like even so if you go back, we can talk about like a decent trade pattern, right? So right here, right, you know that like you're getting this push for free. It's literally free. You could do whatever you want at this phase. One thing I recommend is pause right now. You see that minion in the middle that's about to die?
Yeah.
Walk up to that minion, and as you spike level 2, you can get Q, E. I think you get a reset from that, and even another E. And if you just want to pop all that, it's completely free right now. Like, there's no cost to you whatsoever to do all of that. So, like, identifying that is probably one opportunity to get some pressure. We can continue.
I was a little bit confused because he was a bit late to the lane, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Which means you can abuse him even more if you want to, right? So okay, so you're letting it bounce, which is good. Why did you pop your pot there? Curious.
because he popped his pot, so I was like, I need to pop my pot as well, so I can
I see.
continue the lead.
Okay. We didn't actually go over your runes. Let me see what you have here. Oh, you got electrocute, so
Classic
relentless.
Katarina wounds.
Okay.
Because it's just, I thought like, it's Fizz, I'm not really going to get a 25-minute fight with Conqueror going on.
Do you think that, let's see, do you think that you're planning to solo kill Fizz in the early game?
I took Ignite, so yeah.
Okay.
Well, I probably can't, but I would like to.
Okay, got it. So, in that sense, let's see, you've got Triumph and you've got attack speed.
I was considering taking Bone Plating, but I was like, I've already got D-Shield, like let's just take
Right,
Triumph.
because you're kind of stating to me here that by buying Doran's Shield, you're actually looking for small trades, which is fine. Like, Electrocute plays well into those small trades and backing off. But then you have the Alacrity, right? Is that Alacrity? The attack speed? Yeah, why do you have this attack speed?
That might have been a misclick. I was
okay.
rushing. Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I don't need to have Alacrity, sorry.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, so I think that, like, if you're going to go the short trade route, you could go Dark Seal or Doran's Shield. I think because you went Ignite, you might want to go Dark Seal in this scenario because you also got
I agree.
Yeah, especially if you want to put that early pressure and then
And he
roam.
went. It would have been good because he went Corrupting Pot as well. So if I had Dark Seal, like realistically, he's not doing that much damage with Corrupting Pot. So
he's not going to be able to trade you either. But you do want to be watching for those E cooldowns, right? So like
of course, yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I notice is that you're not baiting cooldowns. You're playing it relatively safe. And I'll show you what I mean if you keep pressing. If you let it play some more, I'll point out some examples exactly.
I just don't want to. Like, I know Cat's lane is like kind of dog shit, so I'm just trying to make sure I just have a safe lane so I can scale.
Yeah, so there, for example.
Yeah, I probably should have dashed to the dagger.
Yeah, absolutely, because that is a huge cooldown for him. So not just identifying trade patterns, but like baiting him into those scenarios is one thing that I wanted to talk about too. So, do you understand the concept of like body language?
We talked about this a little bit last time, but yeah, kind of.
Yeah, so body language is really like stepping up when he's thinking about last hitting, right? Because right now, if you think about it, Fizz missed. He completely missed the first wave, and you're not even up in CS here, right? So like, what happened, right? Like, what exactly happened that switched that playbook? One, you kind of let him do what he wanted and played reactively, and he was able to catch all the CS under tower, right? So if we think about the things that are even in the first 3 levels, which are super crucial, we want to think about all of those things, right? So you didn't get ganked, great. You didn't really put pressure on him. But now you're in this scenario where actually you have the complete advantage because the lane is again stuck in front of your tower. So I want to see how you play out the next few levels too.
I feel like I should be moving a little bit more aggressively towards him.
2 things, actually, right? You want to be moving aggressively, and you want to be trimming the wave so that you avoid this scenario, because now it's going to bounce back to him, right?
Is it?
It is. Mm-hmm.
Wait, why would it bounce back to him?
So just press play. Yeah. I see, you went in for the Scion gank. Okay. Cool.
We didn't really get to see the wave, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. So let's see. How do I break this moment down? So you want to be trimming the wave so that it matches yours, right? Because now, like, what's going to happen is your cannon wave is going to come here and it's going to hit this wave first. Once that starts to happen, it's actually going to slowly start to bounce back towards him.
Okay. So if there was no, like,
Mhm.
none of these minions and it was just me here, pulling it up here,
You
it
could,
would just stay here, wouldn't it?
yeah, you could do a couple things, right? One thing is when this wave is actually trimming down, like you're not actually trimming it to maintain a neutral state. So anyways, what I wanted to mention is like if you go back again to that trade pattern just a moment ago,
Well, forward or back?
backwards. Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here. Yeah, right there. So now that he is E, Q, and W are on cooldown, I think like if you went for a trade here, he also doesn't have Ignite. I don't know when he used Ignite on you. Or is that a
He does have Ignite, I
glitch?
think, doesn't he? Yeah, I think that's a glitch,
Is
yeah.
that a glitch? Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
it
Then
is.
I'm reading. Then
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
reading it weird. Okay, all right. Let's press play. Let's go past the gank then.
Wait, how many? Yeah.
Okay, so as you're resetting, what are you kind of planning for on your reset? If
Just
you're going back a
blasting.
moment, yeah. What are you thinking about the game in its current state?
I mean, it's like they haven't got anyone to really be like building against, I don't think. I mean, maybe I could like rush Zhonya's, but it's not like Zed, so it's not going to do amazing. I feel like just rushing my Baron Nashor Tooth will just do the most, yeah.
Yeah, I think getting your Nashers here is definitely crucial. What are you thinking about though right now? Like for example, right? There's different layers of planning, right? There's planning
Mm-hmm.
for the next few minutes of your lane. There's planning for the next few items in your build, but there's also planning for like should I gank something, right? Because you
Yeah.
see that like Fizz hasn't come back to lane yet. So what could he be doing, right? Putting yourself in the mind of like Fizz right now, right? What could Fizz be doing if he's not back in lane?
Yeah. Like
So
roaming, obviously.
exactly. You see one thing, right? Your Quinn is at Jax's tower right now. And you know that Fizz just died first and he's going to be back on the map before you. So Fizz has tempo on you right now.
Mhm.
And
Tempo.
sorry?
You said the thing.
Yeah, so Fizz has tempo on you right now. Any play that were to happen, he could get there first.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
like
that's what tempo means. Wait, what does tempo mean?
right. So tempo it means two things. One, tempo leads to prio, right? So when you ask so as a jungler for example, if you ask your lane, "Do you have prio?" it means yes, my lane is pushing and I have tempo so I can get to the play first. So that's the
I told you
second
that,
thing
Alex.
about tempo. So tempo means I'm on the map first and I can get to the play first. So right now, if anything were to happen, Fizz is going to be there first. And so
Okay.
you didn't really set up your team to know that right now, right?
I think I did ping
Did
for
you?
Quinn, but wait, we'll see.
Wait, where's the dark steel tempo?
Yeah, I did
Okay,
ping
so
for
you
her.
did ping. Good. So now that you know Fizz is likely roaming, okay, you commit to the push, and then you run top.
I feel like maybe I could have run bot here, but I'm level 6, he's level 4. I obviously win this, but then he
Okay.
just gets away.
Okay, so let's think about that for a moment, right? If we pause and go back. Let's say you are level 6 and Fizz is level 5. You have two choices to make, right? One, their bot is pushed into our tower, right? If you think about the situation here.
Yeah.
Versus like fighting a Fizz, right? Like Fizz, how much are you going to be able to stick to a Fizz in the
Yeah,
middle
not
of the
really.
river? Almost 0%,
Yeah.
right? He can Q through you. He can
Yeah.
E afterwards. And then he's out. Like he has two ways to exit that fight. So what's more impactful for your team in this moment?
I should just be going bot here, really.
100%.
And my Sion is bot as well, so it's like it's literally the best play.
Right. So the other thing to think about is like if I were to match Fizz top, which one you can't, you're much later to the play. Two,
Yeah.
if you were to counter gank this Fizz play and help my Quinn, is that worth the roam? Let's evaluate, right? Is Quinn going to carry this game for you?
No.
No, right? She's getting dumpstered. She's getting outmatched and outskilled. If you roam top, late to match a late roam, you're not really accomplishing as much as say, hey, if
Yeah,
you went
yeah.
bot right now and your Scion's bot side,
A
let's
lot
say
of
you
stuff to
went
do here because
around
we can
the
ward here, and
yeah, let's
then
say you
we can
went
go around
around
here.
the dragon and you ganked bot and you guys got a double kill. That's a dragon.
Yeah,
So evaluating that choice, understanding that like even if I roam there, I'm gonna be late, and then choosing to cross map is all part of like that decision making, right?
yeah,
The other
yes,
thing that
yeah,
you could have done too is if let's say bot wasn't pushing, you could also get deep vision on Lilia because you know junglers mirror each other, right? Because Sion started bot, Lilia started bot, Sion is bot, so that means Lilia could be bot somewhere. So
yeah,
warding any deep bot side and then roaming bot could have given you guys a lot more of an advantage than
yeah, definitely, yeah,
that trade. Does that make sense? Yeah, cool.
yeah. That makes loads of sense. Yeah,
So the concepts I'm talking about are really just like tempo and cross mapping, and that's super important when you're playing mid because you have access to both sides of the map.
yeah.
Is that your pink in the pixel? I think it is. That's good. That's actually a great word to have.
Yeah, I learned it from you.
Nice.
That's the pixel brush.
Now I saw Jax was low top,
Okay.
Pixel brush.
so I thought let's just go for it.
Gotcha.
And I saw he had the bounty, so I was like, even if it goes wrong, I can just say it was for the bounty.
So I see that you made this decision. It works out, which is good. And your team gets a free dragon, which also, great. The one thing I would say when you're doing those types of roams, if we go back,
Pixel brush.
This wave sucks for roaming, but I just thought it'd be worth.
I'm not too concerned about the CS that you're giving up because it's the percentage chance of getting a shutdown for a little bit of CS, right? So
Yeah,
if this is a successful roam, you have to evaluate the percent chance that it's going to be
Yeah.
successful, right? So
Yeah, I've
right
heard
now,
that before,
there's
yeah.
two things that I would recommend to improve about the roam. One, you pointed out yourself, wave state, right? When you roam right now, they're gonna see you, right? So if this Jax wasn't as greedy and he saw you coming, there's no way that play is going to work out.
yeah,
There's no way. Versus your team's doing a dragon here, right? And there's chances that Lilia is going to go check because she just ganked you from topside and she's pathing bot. She could just run down the river and they could go stop this dragon. So again, you have to evaluate like what are my chances of getting to Jax versus what are the chances of them fighting my team at this dragon, right? So what watching this over right now, which one would you say has the higher chance of being the successful play?
I mean, obviously just looking for Lilia, because the thing is, if I go top and Jax isn't there, then I'm very far away from my lane as well. I feel so then I've got all the way back,
And
so I'm losing even more CS.
right, and what you're indicating to the enemy is cross map me. Right? So League is a game of cross map advantages, right? Like Quinn's dead, okay? Like Quinn's already dead, which means your top side is the weak side. You have no numbers. Your bot side is the strong side. And what happens now is if you run top, you're making your bot side the weak side because now you're putting two people top. So like that's the trade-off that you have to make when you're playing mid. So for example, if you ran bot or top and the enemy saw you do that, both Fizz and Lilia, 100% in a high elo game, are going bot. And 100% are finding your team. They're going to find your team in this dragon moment. And your team is going to be screwed. Because Fizz just hit 6, too. Does that make sense?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes loads of sense.
Yeah, so identifying those cross maps are so important.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, press play. I mean, this all works out for your team, so whatever. But theoretically speaking...
Yeah, this is just a bit lucky. I think,
right, exactly. Okay, so I'm noticing the wave is a little bit stuck again. Okay, you commit to push, that's good. That's fine, that doesn't even matter. Okay, so you take that little trade. What do you do now? You're roaming bot. Good, perfect. That's what I would have recommended as well. When you roam, before you roam, do you ask for summoners? Like what summoners are up and what's down?
I mean, like, it's in the back of my head, but not really.
Okay. Okay, one thing I would recommend doing before you make a roam like this is asking, hey, sums bot? Question mark.
Yeah.
Because you want to know before, because it helps you decide how far do you commit to this fight, right? Like, if you blow your ult here and you go back to lane, your enemy is going to abuse you. Versus like, hey, okay, fine, they have summoners. The goal should be let's burn flash. Then maybe you don't commit your ult and you just try to go for like a little damage here.
Yeah.
I'm sure this works out though. I feel like Twitch is really weak. Okay, cool.
We need to get.
Let me look on myself and I'm on.
You need dog safe at tempo.
Yeah, so that right now is great. You know, your Fizz is late as hell. So now you have tempo, right? Essentially. Okay, let's talk about this play here. Do you think... okay, so what are your choices at that moment if you rewind maybe 10, 15 seconds?
Right here?
Yeah, you know that like Fizz is bot, right? Caitlyn's now dead. And I think Sion killed top too. So what are your choices right now? Like what are things that you should be thinking about?
Stay mid and hit the tower.
Okay,
get some deep vision, or go for the Fizz kill.
Right. Or there's a fourth one.
Help him with the Herald.
There you go. He's starting Herald right now, right? And so you know that Jax is on a reset. Fizz has already gone bot and committed. What is probably the optimal play for you in this scenario?
I mean, probably just helping Sion. Or maybe hitting the tower. I think they're both about even.
Yeah. So that was exactly what I was going to recommend here. So if you think about the amount of gold that you can gain in the next 30 seconds or to a minute rather than chasing Fizz, it's 2 plates, it's a Herald, and maybe even a random Lilia if she decides to come, right? So like all of those options are net more gold than the Fizz chase.
Okay, yeah.
So like I again like pausing and being like, okay, see the reason I say it's 2 plates, do you know why it's 2 plates in this case?
Is that the cannon minion?
Exactly. So on cannon waves is the best time to go for plates.
Okay, yeah.
And also like you can kill a Lilia in like 3.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Like so like even if a Lilia shows up here and 2 plates, then you're even signaling Sion, hey, come mid. Let's throw this Herald down mid and just smash it open. That's even more gold. That's like 700 plus gold going into your pockets.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's mainly what I wanted to emphasize here. Let's press play.
Let's just go back to our level 4.
I don't even know. Do you get the Fizz kill? I'd be surprised. Man, this is all time that you could have been banging on that tower.
Yeah, it doesn't even, not even worth. And I got a shot down to Twitch.
Yep. The other thing is, like, Lux is just alone, right? Like, what's one support Lux gonna provide to you in this instance? So, yeah. I think you gave a shutdown to Twitch. That's pretty big,
I did give a shutdown
right?
to Twitch. Yeah, that wasn't, Because I feel like I should be thinking that, like if it's not Fizz, I feel like that play is fine. But because it is Fizz, it's like, am I realistically going to just, like, one burst him like that?
So that's part of
'Cause if
it,
that was,
right?
like-
The other part of it is, what are the numbers there? It's 3 versus 2 in a best case scenario, right? So
My thought was, though, I'm super fed, so I'm like, oh, I can easily 2v1 these two.
right.
But I guess that it was Zyra and Fizz, so I should be really thinking about the, like, who can really win that 2v1.
Yeah, and also just like, what is the optimal play in that moment, right? Is it so let's talk about percent chance again, right? What is the percent chance that you're gonna get 2 plates? 100%. 90 to 100%. What is the chance that you outplay a 2v3 to maybe get some kills? I would say like 52%, right? Like, it's slightly in your favor, but it's a little hard. So going into that scenario, exactly. So you're fed. Yeah, it could have gone your way, but that 48% chance is what ended up happening, right?
It was just it was an unnecessary, like, coin flip.
Exactly.
I think would be a good way to describe it. When there's a safer option, I feel.
Yeah, so the way I want you to think about it is, like, when you're playing mid lane, especially in Assassin, there are certain things that you need to optimize for. One, it's the XP, right? So all points in the game, you want to be maximizing how much you're getting solo XP. So in that case, staying mid is great, because your next breakpoint is level 11 when you get that level 2 ult. The second thing you want to be thinking about is, how do I funnel as much gold into myself now that I'm ahead and avoid giving up shutdowns to key players on their team so they don't get back into the game, right? Because right now, nobody on their team is snowballing out of control, right? If we go back a moment, Twitch was 1-2. You don't have to rewind. I'm just saying. Mentally, sorry. Right? Twitch was 1-2-0. Fizz is 1-2-1. Jax is kind of there, but you can match Jax really well. So you also, on your team, have a Scion that's doing really well too. So you have that front line, and you have you as a damage threat. The level of which risk that you need to take is actually really low. You shouldn't be taking risks. What you should be focusing on is becoming the win condition for your team, right? Because the rest of your team is behind. Does that all of that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So just, like, not like greedier, but like kind of greedier. Because I'm just thinking, like, oh, I need to save my team from the Fizz. Let me go back to beef. But it's like, if I just stay mid and make more money, it's going to be better in the long run.
Right, because what are you doing by going bot? You're helping yourself, but you're risking yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus like helping teammates get, like, there's this construct of, like, when you're ahead, you should help your team get back into the game. But it's such a tough, like, there's no one way to do that, right? Like, because now Quinn is 0-4, right? What's the best way to help her get back into the game? Sacrifice yourself for a potential Jax kill? I'd say no. The best way to help your Quinn get back into this game is let Jax take that tower and let her farm from the second tower. That's probably the best thing you guys can do. And actually, if you know that Jax is strong, cross-map the shit out of him. If Jax is dominating top, dominate the crap out of bot.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So by going for that risky play, you kind of actually screwed your bot side even more, because they're already behind, and now Twitch got a huge shutdown. So the momentum shift is kind of awkward at this point. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I do exactly what you said not to do. Run straight to top.
That's actually okay in this instance, because, one, you're getting the big player off the map. I don't actually know how close Dragon is. But you guys now can go set up for that dragon, which is what you should be doing. But your jungler's top, so that's fine. And Scion kind of does that for you. He's like, here, Quinn, take a little gold, right? Like, here, he's kind of salvaging her hopeless situation a little bit.
I spam ping bot, but sadly they didn't listen.
Yeah, let's pan bot, actually. Actually, if you even go back maybe 30 seconds. So what does Fizz do here? He does exactly what I
bot.
said if I was coaching Fizz, he does exactly what I would have wanted him to do. He saw you run top. You've got to shut down on Jax. So now they're cross-mapping. Fizz is going to kill your bot lane, and they're going to get Dragon if they're good. So that's the trade-off, right, of that top roam. I don't see the pitch. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good play from this Fizz, actually, because he recognizes that he should go bot there.
This is maybe a little greedy.
Yeah, putting yourself in those risky situations. Okay, so let's rewind again, right? So, what were your choices here if we go back to this moment?
I mean, realistically, just go back to mid and farm.
Yeah, so if we think about it, right, you actually were topside a moment ago. What have you accomplished in the last 30, 40 seconds? You literally ran top to bottom.
Yeah.
That's what you did in the last 30,
Yeah.
40 seconds. So in that sense, you're not getting XP, you're not getting gold, you're not denying Fizz anything, right? So you're
Okay, yeah.
so the amount of downtime has been maximized, whereas you want to minimize that amount of downtime, right?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah, this is just like, because if the Zara hit the stun here, I obviously would have died.
100% I think you're dead, actually. So another res. Right. And it gets worse, right? Like, if they actually chose to do Dragon right now, they should. I don't know if they do. It looks like they don't. You guys get it somehow because... Okay. What is Lilia doing this whole time? I don't
I think she's AFK, I can't lie to you.
Oh, is she?
I'm pretty sure she's AFK.
If you toggle the blue side, I'd be curious. Like, Lilia should have been doing Dragon this whole time. Oh no, she's top.
Oh no, she's here.
Well, I guess you luck out.
She's AFK farming. That's the strat.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of luck out there. Your team's really suffering right now. If you look at the gold, it's dead even. That should tell you what's happening, right?
Yeah. I know I could roam to this because I just shoved the wave. So I thought I'd get there first. It's kind of annoying the scoreboard's here, I can't see anything.
I mean, I think you have the right idea here, actually. The mid lane, like... The mid lane generally doesn't, what's it called, add too much damage to Dragon. Like, your job, actually, especially if you're ahead, is doing exactly what you did. Is looking for those picks around the Dragon side. I mean, the fact that Lilia was super fucking late, like, is a separate topic, but what you did there is correct. Like, I approve.
Okay, good.
So that was good. I would stick around and push this lane out all the way into the tower, because, again, it's stuck.
Okay, yeah.
And identifying those, because you know Lilia ulted, like, Fizz is dead, so you want to optimize that amount of gold that you're getting from
that
those
makes
pushes.
sense, yeah.
Honestly, if you had just sat mid this game, you would have had that mid tower by now. I'm pretty damn sure.
I did a lot of roaming this game, I feel.
Yeah,
and maybe I could have been it for a lot longer.
It worked out in your favor.
Yeah,
but I would say percentage-wise,
it's not always going to work out.
Yeah, I would say the percentage-wise, like, I think you could have played it more optimally. Is the point, right?
I scanned a bit late there. So I'm just like, okay, if I wait long enough, they'll forget about me. Is there any way to like zoom out further?
I think you're fully zoomed out here, but...
Oh, what have I done?
That's okay.
Hey, this is a... We don't have to talk about this play.
Well, we don't have to talk about the play, but
no, I'm joking.
yeah,
this is just
about what led to the play, right? Like, so why did you go for that play? Let's talk about that, right? Because that's more important.
Yeah, because the thing is, I'm like, when I'm here.
So let's go all the way back to when you're in the mid lane, right? So you're here, right? What just happened in the game? You guys took Dragon, you killed Fizz, and Lilia ulted. Alright, so what's happening in the game?
Yeah.
What do you think you have to watch out for? What do you think you should be doing?
I don't know.
Okay,
There's no objectives on the
I
map,
mean
so I
that's a
don't really.
sorry.
There's no objectives, so they're not like I don't know
Okay,
what they would be doing. I feel like they'd just be farming up.
okay, that's fine. So you kind of said you don't know, right? And that's
Yeah, I'd say.
fair. That's the thing, right? Transitioning into the mid game can be really confusing, but that's essentially what's about to happen, right? You're transitioning
Okay.
into the mid game, and mid game is kind of like a formula, right? You want to stick to the basics, right? Like what? So now the questions that you want to ask yourself are: how do I win this game? What are the win conditions? Who's fed on their team? And what can I do about it? Right? So
Okay,
like
yeah.
right now, you're 7-1. That's 70% of your kills. That's like 80% of your team's damage. You've got like 80% of your team's gold. You are the carry, right?
Okay, yeah.
So the first thing that you should be thinking about is like, what is my next break point? Like, what do I need to aim for to
Okay,
continue
yeah.
carrying this game? What do you think that answer would be in this case?
Level 11.
Right.
And
And your second item, right? Whatever
yeah,
that is. Your second item and level 11 is your fastest way of getting there. So,
okay, yeah.
in this scenario, right, you know Lilia just ulted, Fizz is dead, and you've got, like, no objectives to fight over. So, why are you roaming bot right now?
I just feel like I just want to like beat the bot up because I don't want them to win. I just want my bot to win. So I'm like, let me just go bot and try and help them.
Fair. And I agree with that sentiment. However,
But,
where is
yeah,
your bot lane?
like pushing them under the turret.
Right. Do you think if you went bot right now and you tower dove, that you confidently could share some of your lead?
No.
Okay. So, in that case, let's assign a percentage. How likely is this roam to be successful versus the alternative?
I'd say 20% chance we get a double kill
Uh
and
huh.
like 80% chance I just get the turret.
Boom.
20% chance.
There you go. That's the type of conversation you should be having with yourself
Okay, yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
transitioning into the mid game, right?
Okay, that
So,
makes
what
sense.
is the win condition? What do I need to accomplish? And what is the highest percent chance that gets me there? So, right now, literally just banging on this tower, man, because
Yeah.
you don't want to go
Okay, yeah.
top. You definitely don't want to go top. That's the worst place you could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And bot lane's at their tower. So I mean, there is one like other alternative I would say that you could do if you really wanted to transition bot. One thing that you could have done and might have been better is like if you went down the river and shadowed them, because the chances of
Yeah.
a Lilia like or a Fizz going bot, like let's put your mind in the brain of Fizz. What's Fizz thinking right now? Right, you have to think about that too.
Yeah.
Right, what is Fizz gonna do here? Fizz,
He's just wanting. He wants to come back in the game, doesn't he?
yeah,
So he's just
Fizz
gonna.
wants to get back in the game. And he knows he can't fight you. Like, I mean, if he does, he's screwed. You have your first you have a legendary item, he doesn't have a mythic. Like he's screwed. So Fizz actually would look bot here. So there is a small let's go back to that 20%, right? So you said
Yeah.
20% likely that you get a double kill. However, there is some percent that Fizz goes bot here. It just gives up mid, right? In that
Yeah.
scenario, how should you approach that fight? Actually, if you think about it, that's exactly what ends up happening, right?
Yeah.
You roam bot, Fizz is thinking about going bot, and you
he
show
comes
that you're
bot.
going there. So let me give you an alternative to that play. You had the right idea, maybe you didn't know it. You're predicting that Fizz goes bot. So one way to do that is actually just going down river and shadowing your bot lane. That way,
Yeah. So I should just be like
mhm,
around like here, right? Or like in this tri bush as well, like around here.
you can actually go all the way into the lane bush, right? You could go
Oh,
all the
well,
way
like a
into the
lane
lane
then.
bush if
Okay,
bot
okay.
lane was actually pushing, in which they will be, right? They will be pushing.
Yeah.
And if you
Okay.
were there for the gank, the best way to play that scenario is let your bot lane take all the cooldowns and then mop the floor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That would be an awesome situation.
Because I feel like, well, my bronze brain here, I was like, okay, I'll shove the wave. He has to come and collect it. So it'll be an easy 2v3 on bot. But
Right.
obviously, he just went bot.
Right. And so, you know, if you're in that scenario where you're beating on the tower, like, just beat on the
He has to
tower
come.
until they show up. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't show up, then you know, okay, shit, this guy's going bot. Should I shadow my bot lane for the mop up? Right? Like,
Okay,
then
yeah.
you can make that decision.
That
But
makes
right
sense, yeah.
now, I don't think it's clear that he's going bot, right?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
in any case, actually, Lilia's not going to gank you. She just ulted you. She's got nothing left
Yeah.
for you. So you have almost nothing to fear.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we see what happens here. My crazy flash play.
No worries. I mean, the other thing is, like, you're trading your level 11 for all of this. Like, you're slowing yourself down.
Yeah, I'm just... The zoom up is too good. So I shouldn't really let Fizz play the game at all here. Because I'm just so much stronger.
You can. I mean, that's a route you could take. Your cannon is crashing into this. Your top lane just shut down Jax. So anytime that you're wondering, like, what should I be doing, you have to quickly be able to decide what is the best play for me, right? Like, what is the most optimal play I can make at this moment?
I think I have an answer for that already.
Yeah, one thing I would comment, and this is a side thing, in that realm of, like, what is most optimal, it's 16 minutes into the game. Your CS is, you know, it is what it is.
Terrible.
It's 79,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. My
So,
CSing is not the greatest.
which is fine. It's not about being a good CSer. I'm not faulting you on that.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, like, if you're not able to determine what's optimal, as a baseline, try to determine what is the least, like let's minimize my downtime.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So, like, in League of Legends, you want to minimize how much downtime you're doing, which is why low elo games
sense.
last so long, because people spend so much time effectively doing nothing. So,
Okay, yeah.
again,
this roam here does nothing.
Yeah, so, like, working towards those breakpoints, right? Because you've been level 10 for multiple minutes now, it almost feels like.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help. And actually, if you look at the gold, it's completely even right now. So your lead is meaningless. It's meaning less and less right now because the enemy team overall is getting stronger, and you're not getting stronger.
Okay,
Actually, if anything, you've given up 2 shutdowns.
So I'm getting weaker, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're getting weaker compared to the enemy team. And
Yeah,
you
okay,
can probably
that makes
see
sense.
that in the gold, and you could probably see that in the gold graph.
Yeah. I don't know how you look at that, but yeah.
I think it might be in the replay. I'm not too sure. You could see it here. So let's talk about the last minute of the game, right? So what have you been doing the last minute of the game?
Running around and dying and then farming mid.
Yeah. So actually, you didn't stop Fizz from playing, right? That was your first idea, and you haven't helped your team. And there's a Rift Herald that's sitting up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say earlier.
Did you say that? Sorry.
I was going to say it. I was planning on saying,
What
would you do? Yeah.
Right. So you're in this powerful position where you're not getting deep vision. You're not proactively setting up for objectives. And you're not pushing your tempo. You're actually kind of like, okay, enemy team, catch up. That's kind of what you're saying right now in the past few minutes. So, having a sense of the game momentum is one thing that you should try to build by asking all those questions. Do you want to pause for a moment? Does everything I said so far help kind of frame the things you should be thinking about when you're transitioning into the mid game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Let's press play.
When you look at me. I feel like if we're talking about like chances, I feel like that was a pretty safe roam because I knew Sion was coming with me.
I actually think
So I
that
feel
was
like we
the
coulda-
right play. I think killing
Yeah.
top, doing Rift, and then going to Dragon, like, I think that's totally fine. Or giving up the Dragon and just crashing one lane open, right? Because your bot lane is contesting right now. So I think going top is fine. I think then running bot is the waste of time. I don't know if this
Thing
works
is, I'm
out.
like,
Yeah.
my mindset here was like, I don't know, I was just like, I'm so strong, I need to like, I can clean up or something, but clearly I
Right.
couldn't.
Right. But again, the question you have to ask yourself is what percent chance do
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
versus what I'm trading off for this play?
Because like,
for
I could be
every-
like 150 CS right now.
Yeah.
If I wasn't just running around the map doing nothing.
Exactly. For every play that you choose to do, there's a trade-off. Nothing is free. And right now, the enemy team is catching up. Actually, they're overall in the lead. So,
Yeah.
anyways, you guys went for the Herald. I think what you could have done is just stayed top and just like push down 2 towers, or if Jack tries to stop you, just dive him again.
Okay.
And then you're opening up the whole top side of the map for you guys, which is great.
Okay, that makes sense.
Katarina is a very snowbally champion, I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
And so you're always looking for opportunities to speed up the game pace. They did get that previous dragon, right? They did the dragon? Okay. Oh no, you guys get the dragon. What the heck? Well.
We just have to go strangler.
Yeah, so now what's the game plan now, right? So you just died again and you reset. So now what are you thinking?
Now I'm feeling a bit sad. I'm feeling a bit down in the dumps. I'm like, oh, I'm terrible. Let me just go top. I'll do some side laning. I'll roam for some objectives and try and get my lead back. Is what I'm thinking.
Right. And so now you're kind of on the back foot because you need to get your lead back. Versus the whole last 10 minutes, you were crazy ahead. You had this whole opportunity to snowball your lead.
Yeah, this game I feel like I really threw my lead away.
Right.
So it's quite interesting to hear why. Yeah, like just wasting time is like why it's gone.
And that's good, right? Like at least now you kind of identified that you could have done all these other things. So now what I was trying to get at is like your game plan now is totally fine. You should be in the side lane because effectively I think Jax is about as strong as you, if not stronger. So you have to figure out how do I get in a side lane away from Jax? Because I think Jax kills you pretty easily right now.
Especially with MR boots.
So you see Jax mid. Your game now is sit in side lanes, pull people that are not Jax, or even if Jax does come to answer you, that's fine. Now your team is in an even 4v4. So like figuring out like can I kill the person who's going to come answer me is now the name of the game.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to go too far because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's talk about that for a moment. What do you see on the map?
I mean, we can see Fizz, Jax, Twitch, and what's her name? Zyra.
Zyra. So, what's the fear for pushing here?
Lilia.
Right.
Would be the fear, but I don't think it's fear. She probably could kill me if she outplayed me.
Okay.
Because we're about even in items, I'd say.
Okay. But what are your goals right now? What are you trying to do?
Gain the lead.
Right. So are you gaining a lead by backing?
No.
Okay. So your goals. Sorry. I don't mean to sound harsh. What I'm trying to say is
it's fine.
What I'm trying to say is like moments like these where you see 4 people on the map. You need to analyze like, okay, can I outplay this Lilia? What's the percent chance of that? Let's take a worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, Lilia does come and stop you. Fine. That is a potential to flex some of those Katarina mechanics, right? Let's go for a fight. Let's practice. Let's learn my limit. Let's see how strong I am right now. The second thing you could do is figure out how much gold do I need to get to my mythic item. Because you don't have a mythic, right? So
Yeah.
does killing this tower get me closer? How much more gold do I need? Does killing Lilia and then getting a tower get me much closer?
Okay, yeah.
Like
I
those
feel
are
like
all.
I was a bit shook after I kept dying, so I was trying to play really safe. But yeah, I definitely should have just gone for the 800 gold from the tower, and then I definitely could have got my item, I feel.
Yeah, so that's the trade-off to this recall, right? You don't
Yeah.
now, you don't get an opportunity to get your confidence back. You don't get an opportunity to limit test yourself, and you don't get the gold to get you closer to your second item. Instead,
Yeah.
you just recall, and now the enemy team is doing whatever the heck they want. They're actually pushing the tempo mid, and they're pushing the tempo bot, right? So that's
Yeah,
what
that
you're
makes
giving
sense.
up by this recall.
Okay.
You gotta.
We don't-
When
yeah, I
you're
don't even
split
get item.
pushing, when you're split pushing like that, you gotta play off of the knowledge of like these are opportunities for me to actually push my lead and show that
Yeah,
I can
okay.
carry this game. Those are opportunities that show that you can carry a game right there.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, epic pentakill incoming. Realistically, like, if I was just top right now, like, I'd be hitting the turret, Lilia would just be there, observing me.
Lilia would probably try to stop you, but fine. You know, like, you get a bunch of CS, you get the opportunity to, you know, like I said, yeah. So yeah, versus a couple kills, which, I mean, kills are always fine, but what do you get to do with those kills? You actually don't get to do anything here.
Don't get any kills.
But also, like, getting those kills is meaningless, right? Because you don't actually get to push anything. There's no objective coming up. Anyways, yeah. Okay, so let's pause again.
Here I'm a little bit... Okay, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I'm a bit lost here, because it's like, Quinn's top, the bot is already shoved, and like, my ADC is coming mid for the CS. So I'm like, let me just back.
Yeah, and you're half HP. You've already pushed in mid. I think backing is fine. The main thing I want to emphasize is like thinking about, okay, it's all about planning for the next few steps, right? What is your plan for the next few steps here?
So we want to back, and then, I mean...
Can you buy your item?
Probably. We'll see. Let me look.
If you press X, you can actually see how much gold you're sitting on. Yeah, I think it looks like you buy your item.
Perfect. Yeah, I get what about.
Totally fine then. That back is great, right?
And then I just go bot.
Okay.
And I actually go mid, because I want to fight.
Okay.
Realistically, I should just like go bot here. But
well, let's talk about that, right? Why should you? Let's talk about why.
Whoa.
No worries. Well, let's talk about that, right? Why should you go bot?
Okay, this is what we said earlier as well, because it's safer. We get guaranteed gold on bot. And we create pressure, so someone has to come down here and check me out.
Okay.
If I go mid, maybe I get a few kills. I might die though, and then be even further behind.
Okay. So so that is applicable. There's a little bit of knowledge that you have right now that should help guide your decision. If you go back again, press it twice, maybe 2, maybe 3 times even. Yeah, okay, right here. This moment should guide you should be planning where to go right now as you're backing, right? And how would you know? Let's think about it, right? So you are able to get your item. Great. You know that Twitch is bot. You know that Jax is mid. So what is likely your enemy's options here? What can they do?
Just shove the waves in.
No. So what I was trying to suggest is that so you have so there's enough information for you to decide whether you should go bot or come to your team. Because what happens, right? So let's think about it. Your team is not grouped up for a fight, but chances are Lux is going to run mid. So what you have to evaluate now is, 1, do I need to group for a team fight that's coming up? Okay, let's think about that. Should I group for a team fight? I don't know. Is there a team fight? It seems like there's no objectives. Seems unlikely that there would be a team fight. The other way to answer that, does the enemy team have hard engage? Right? So like, if I were to go bot, what are the chances my team is going to push up and get engaged on and die, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
in this game, I actually would argue the enemy team has pretty bad engage. There's no
Yeah.
point and click CC. They have to land like a Lilia bubble that's amazing, or they have to have a great Fizz Shark. Otherwise, they don't have a great hard engage. So in this case, I actually think going bot is a totally fine option. Mainly because, one, no objective, and two, the enemy team doesn't have a hard engage. However, the way you have to think about it as a mid laner is this. To win mid game, you have to constantly be identifying what is my team weak at, right? And my team right now is weak at team fighting. So yes, if you think there's going to be a team fight, you should run mid. No, the enemy team can't fight my team. I'm going to run bot. Does that make sense? That was a lot. That was a lot right there.
That does make sense, yeah.
Cool.
Because, yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So as you're backing, those are all things that you should be like thinking for and planning for and then making a decision because you have enough information to decide how the next minute, 2 minutes should go.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Okay. So that's what I want to encourage you as a mid laner. Okay, cool.
I mean, so yeah, I do end up coming mid. I still think I could just go bot here. There's only 2 of them.
Totally. I mean, Zyra's dead, right? Why even go mid at this point?
Yeah. Except this epic Jack skill.
Except it's Super Smash Brothers, I guess, in this game.
This is the bronze lifestyle. Just battle royale mid every game.
I mean, this just wins you the game, right? You should be able to get Baron and end like soon. So, you guys at least get Baron? No? Nobody.
Of course not. We need to get the mid towers.
So, yeah, let's pause here. Let's talk about the last thing. This is totally out of your control. I just know that we've talked about a lot of stuff, so I just want to end soon. The main thing is like, when you are in situations where your team is deciding, do we push for tower or do we do something else? Take the Baron, because if you think about it, Baron helps you kill towers faster.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, you can't control these bronzes. It's actually not possible.
Totally. So in this situation, out of your control. I'm just saying that if it is up to
In
you,
general,
and you guys are duo queuing, if you guys are duo queuing and you're mid and jungle, take the damn Baron, especially when it's 4 people dead.
Yeah,
Because-
yeah.
Right.
What do you think is better? Wait,
I agree with that.
What do you think is better, like mid or top lane? I mean, like mid and jungle or mid on top lane? Because like I'm
Do
thinking
you
of playing
mean
top lane, like,
to